think it's easier to just tear down a historic building and just build a new one. But through this project and just knowing the heart of the owner and knowing that they really want to preserve the history and that they really appreciate the history more than a lot of people do these days, that was just really cool. And I'm kind of proud to be able to drive by that and say, you know, I had a little hand in that.
So people may be wondering, you know, how do you start this process? How did we start this process of renovating this old building? Actually, this process began years and years ago. We've looked at most of the older buildings in the downtown area, as well as buildings all across, you know, the community, trying to find the right fit for our agency. And once we finally found Robbins Sanford and we were able to get upstairs and see that the space might work for us, then the due diligence period began. You know, due diligence basically means the research to make sure that this property will work with our needs. And so, you know, we measured it off. We came up with some general floor plans just to kind of test out the waters and see would this space fit our needs and work for our agency. Really, I mean, the planning part of it started right here at my computer. We're a marketing agency, and I've got some background in graphic design, so I was fortunate to have some software programs right here on my computer. And I just started off with, you know, laying out a grid, you know, 1 inch equals 1 foot grid on my computer, and start laying in walls and some furniture just to see, you know, how would the flow go for our agency? Can we make the space work with how we need it to work? And went through tons and tons of versions of that. Throughout the process, we were fortunate to get hooked up with Amy Burton with Main Street Searcy, and she's the director over there, and she works with downtown merchants and trying to build and promote the Searcy downtown area. By going through her, we ended up meeting with Main Street Arkansas out of Little Rock. And then they had a connection with the Advanced Interior Design class at UCA.
It was really exciting for me to be a part of working with Idea Studio and UCA and their interior design program. It allowed the students to have the opportunity to go into a historic building, let me teach them about the elements of historic buildings, and actually give them the chance to understand what a designer would need to know about restoring a historic building.
Okay, the Advanced Interior Design Studio is made up of senior students who have an opportunity to work out on a real project. And we're fortunate enough to work with Main Street Arkansas and Susan Shaddix, who is a graduate of our program, and she helps us find projects that we can put our hands on and measure and investigate and research the history.
One of the goals was to restore the front of the building to its former glory and facade to what it would match on Grant and Main Street, because over the time in the history of the building it had shifted several times, and so we wanted to have a uniform facade across the front of the building and match it with downtown. So that was one of the things that we really thought about. And then was making sure that we kept the things that were important and identifiable about the building when you walked in. So some of the beautiful doors that separated it, the storefront that people knew as the mercantile, the beautiful tin roof on the inside, and then we had this blank canvas on the second floor because that had been empty for a long time.
We just did whatever we wanted, so we had to take into consideration this is somebody who's going to spend real money and can't afford to rip out all the plumbing or the HVAC or things like that. So we really had to look at it from from a perspective of reality, and that is not something we had done up to that point.
And we were trying to fit a lot of different things in that second floor. The bridal room that we talked about, a play area for the kids, a daycare for the kids that were there, you know, a kitchen that was more of like a commissary type kitchen or a kitchenette, and there were just a lot of different things, and to be able to fit in there, the studio, production studio, the sound studio, just a lot of different elements.
And the elevator.
And the elevators, where that was going to go.
Where that was going to go.
And the stairs.
The stairs, and the most hardest thing will be the stairs.
So it's neat to see what the end product is going to be, and I can't wait to see it in person.
biggest important thing is you have to be able to draw, sketch, envision, and see in 3D. I can't say it any other way. So you have to have a need to want to create and see a creation become a physical object. So if you have this desire to create and see that creation be built, and you can see in 3D and you can draw, then you have what it takes to start and be an architect.